All right, let's get into one of the world's most fascinating and, frankly, most frustrating puzzles. For 600 years, there's been this one book that has stumped everyone. We're talking brilliant historians, top cryptographers, AI, you name it. It's a handwritten book from before the printing press, but the language inside, completely unknown. And the drawings, well, they look like they're from another planet. We're talking about the Voynich Manuscript, a true unsolved mystery.
So take a look at this. This is a page from what they call the herbal section. You'd think it's a botanical drawing, right? But here's the thing. Botanists have looked at this and basically said, nope, never seen it. This plant doesn't exist. And it's not just this one. Most of the plants in the book are these bizarre mashups, like they'll have the roots of one plant, the leaves of another, and the flower of something else entirely. And all around it is this beautiful flowing script that not a single person on Earth can read.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What would you do? This isn't just some academic puzzle sitting on a shelf. It's a fundamental challenge to everything we think we know about history, language, and just communication. It's like finding a locked box, beautifully crafted, but for 600 years, nobody has been able to find the key.
Okay, so to even begin to crack this thing, we have to treat it like a cold case. Forget the wild theories for a minute. Let's just look at the hard evidence. What can forensics, what can actual science tell us about the object itself?
The book's history is pretty spotty, but what we do know is fascinating. We're certain the parchment it's written on was made back in the early 1400s. Then it pops up in a letter in Prague in the 1600s, owned by an alchemist, of course. Then it vanishes again for a couple hundred years until 1912, when a book dealer named Wilfred Voynich finds it, which is where it gets its name. Now it lives at Yale University, and lucky for us, they've put the whole thing online.
So today, the manuscript has about 240 pages. But, and this is a big but, we can tell from the way the pages are numbered that it used to have more. Probably at least 272 pages. So right off the bat, we know we're not even looking at the whole story. Parts of this puzzle are just gone.
And that date, the early 15th century, that's not a guess. That's rock-solid science. Researchers at the University of Arizona took multiple samples from different pages and carbon-dated them, and every single test pointed right to that same 34-year window. So we know exactly when the pages were made, even if we have no clue who wrote on them or what they were writing.
Now get this. To make a book of this size, with this many vellum pages, it would have taken the skins of at least 14 or 15 calves. Think about that. This wasn't just somebody's diary or a casual side project. This was a major undertaking. It was expensive, it was time-consuming, and it was a serious investment of resources.
And here's where it gets even weirder. For all that effort, 15 calves, the materials used were, well, kind of cheap. The ink is just a standard iron gall ink used everywhere at the time. The paints are made from common, inexpensive minerals like red ochre and ground azurite. There's no gold leaf, no fancy jewel inlays. This thing feels more like a workman's textbook than a treasure for a king. It was meant to be used.
All right, so we've examined the physical book itself. Now let's actually open it up and take a look inside, because this is where things go from just being mysterious to being truly, deeply weird.
The first and biggest part of the book is what everyone calls the herbal section. It's just page after page of these plant illustrations. But like we saw before, these aren't plants you'd find anywhere on Earth. They are total fantasies, these biological impossibilities that have left every single botanist who's ever studied them just scratching their head.
And then you turn the page, and suddenly you're in what experts call the balneological section. And yeah, that just means bathing. It's full of these strange drawings of little nude women, sometimes wearing crowns, all hanging out in these pools of green liquid that are connected by this insane plumbing system. It's like nothing else from that period. What could this possibly be showing?
Then you get to the cosmological section. Here you find these bizarre circular diagrams. Are they maps of the stars? Are they some kind of weird mandalas? Nobody knows. There's this famous fold-out page that shows 9 islands connected by little roads, dotted with castles, and what sure looks like a volcano. Again, totally unique and utterly confusing.
But of all the weird drawings and bizarre diagrams, the single greatest mystery of the Voynich Manuscript is the text itself. This script, which people have nicknamed Voynichese, has fought off every single attempt at description for over 100 years. The best minds in the world have tried, and they have all failed. I mean, just look at how it's written. This doesn't look like someone who's slowly and carefully encrypting a message. You know? There are no pauses, no mistakes that have been corrected. The flow of the letters is so smooth, so confident. It's like watching someone write in their native tongue, as easily as you or I would sign our own name.
And this is the great puzzle of Voynich's. In some ways, it acts just like a real language. For instance, it follows the statistical rule called Zipf's law, which basically means some words appear a lot and most words appear very rarely, just like in English or any other language. But then it does things that real languages just don't do. You'll see the same word repeated 3, 4, even 5 times in a row, and it has these super rigid rules about which letters can go where in a word. It's a total paradox. To even begin to study this stuff, cryptographers had to invent a whole new alphabet to transcribe it, like this one called EVA. It's basically a way to turn the weird Voynich symbols into letters our computers can understand. That's the only way they can run the text through software and hunt for patterns the human eye would just completely miss.
And all that computer analysis just makes it seem even stranger. As Professor Gonzalo Rubio, an expert in ancient languages, points out, all the little bits and pieces we use for grammar in our languages, like adding an S to make something plural, in Voynich's, those things never show up in the middle of a word. And as he says, for any language we know of in Europe, that's completely unheard of.
So, we've looked at the book, we've looked at the illustrations, we've looked at the bizarre language. We're left with this completely unsolved case. So let's run through the leading theories, the main suspects, if you will, for what this incredible book might actually be.
Okay, so it really boils down to 4 main possibilities that everyone keeps debating. 1, it's a real, natural language that just got lost to history. 2, it's a constructed language, like Esperanto, that someone invented. 3, it's a cipher, an incredibly complex code hiding a message written in some other language. Or 4, it's all just an elaborate, meaningless, and brilliant hoax. And you can't overestimate how tough this puzzle is. Elizabeth Friedman, she was a legendary codebreaker who helped the Allies win World War II. She spent years studying the manuscript. Her final conclusion? That trying to use statistics to crack it was, in her words, doomed to utter frustration. If she couldn't figure it out, this thing is on another level.
But here's the really cool part of the story today. For most of its 600-year life, this book was locked away in private collections. But now, thanks to Yale University, every single page has been scanned in super high resolution and put online for free. The case is officially open to the world. You, me, anyone with an internet connection can play detective.
So that's where things stand. We have the forensic evidence, we have the bizarre contents, and we have the main theories. A 600-year-old secret with its alien plants and unreadable language is now just a click away for all of us to study. Is it a code, a lost language, a brilliant work of art, or just the world's oldest and most successful prank? The mystery is all yours. What do you think it is?